Okay, today we're going to look at linear equations. A linear equation of one variable is an equation that can be written in the form ax plus b equals 0, where a and b are real numbers and a does not equal 0. So what we're solving for is our variable. So the steps to do this is clear fractions by multiplying by a least common denominator, remove any parentheses, and then collect all terms containing the variable on one side and everything else on the other. So let's look at this first problem here. We have 5 times y minus 6 equals 18 minus 2y. So we have no fractions. So next we'd want to remove the parentheses by distributing the 5. So 5 times y is 5y. Let's thin that out a bit. So we distribute the 5, and we get 5 times y, which is 5y. 5 times negative 6 is minus 30. And we just bring down everything else. Now I want to get my variables on one side. So I'm going to add 2y to both sides. That gives me 7y here. Bring down to minus 30 equals 18, and 2y plus 2y is 0. Now I'll add 30 to both sides. So I have 7y equals 48. And then I divide by 7. Y equals 48 divided by 7. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Now we have a fraction. And we want to do this. There's several ways we can approach this. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and get the variables on one side and the fractions on the other. So let's go ahead and subtract this 3x from both sides, which gives me 2x over there. And let's go ahead and subtract 3/4. I have negative 1/3 minus 3/4 equals 2x. Now my least common denominator is 12. So one way I can do this, multiply both sides by 12. So distributing 12 times 1/3, negative 1/3, gives me negative 4. 12 times negative 3/4 gives me negative 9. Oops. Yeah, negative 9. And 12 times 2x gives me 24x. So combine my like terms. Negative 13 equals 24x divided by 24. Negative 13 over 24. Okay, again, we have fraction here. We look for a common denominator. It's going to be 15. So if I multiply both sides times 15, I have 15 times 4 times y minus 2 over 5. Well, that's going to be 12 times y minus 2. This is going to be 15 times negative y, so that's minus 15y. This will be 15 times 6, which is 90, minus 5y. If you can't quite follow how I did that, feel free to contact me via email, and we'll set up a meeting to discuss how I came up with this. So now we're going to distribute this 12 here. We have 12y minus 24 minus 15y equals 90 minus 5y. So we'll combine my like terms. Negative 3y minus 24 equals 90 minus 5y. Add 5y to both sides gives me 2y. Add 24 to both sides equals 114. Divide both sides by 2 and y equals 57. Okay. So we're talking about identities, conditional equations, and contradictions. An equation is satisfied by every number that is a meaningful replacement for the variable is called an identity. An equation solved by some numbers but not others is called conditional. An equation that has no solution is called a contradiction. So the three we've done, those would be conditional equations. So we need to decide whether each equation is an identity, conditional equation, or a contraction, and give the solution set. So easiest way to do this is find the solutions. Here I have no fractions, I have no parentheses, so subtract 4x from both sides, that leaves me 2x minus 9 equals 13. Add 9 to both sides, I get 2x equals 22. Divide by 2 and I get x equals 11. So I have one solution. So this is a conditional equation. And essentially what that means is under, in this case, one condition, x equal 11, this equation is true. Okay, so let's look at another one here. Let's go ahead and bring down this 10 plus 14x. Distribute the 7, I get 14x minus 35. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides, and I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. Let's do that one step at a time. So I get 14x equals 14x minus 45. Subtracting 14x, I get 0 equals negative 45. Now this is never true. So there is no solution set, which makes this a contradiction. Equation. Because it's never true. There are no values that we can plug in for x to make 0 equal negative 45. Okay, let's look at a third one here. Let's distribute our negative 3, negative 6x, negative 3 times negative 1, plus 3. Be careful with that. That's a very common error that students make. Make sure you distribute the negative to both. So here I'm looking at negative 6x plus 5x, which is negative x, plus 3 equals 3 minus x. If I add x to both sides, I get 3 equals 3. And this is, x can be anything. So our solution set would be all reals, and this would be an identity. Every value of x works in that one. Okay, so that is this first section here. Again, if you have any further questions, you can always email me. We can set up some type of Zoom meeting if you need to. We can email back and forth. However, if you have questions, do not be afraid to ask. I'll be happy to help any way I can. That does it for this lecture. Have a good day.